Hey, welcome to the web development section with ChatGPT. In this section, I'll show you how you can use ChatGPT to generate Python web apps, so web apps made with Python. We'll ask ChatGPT to generate the code and then we'll put the code into Thonny, the Thonny IDE, and then run the code to see the web app. So let's go to ChatGPT and start with the first basic example. I want to create a word counter web app, right? That would be a description, a first description, just to tell ChatGPT what you intend to do, and then you can give more details. The user should be able to enter some text and press a button to get the word count. Now, this here is optional. Press a button to get the word count. So you have two options here. If you have an interface in mind, how you want the web app, the website to look like. So if you want a button there, then you want to specify that there is a button that the user can press and they can get the word count. But if you're not sure about what interface you want, then you can let ChatGPT use its experience to come up with an optimal interface, so a popular interface, which perhaps doesn't have a button, so perhaps the user can just type in the code and the word count will show dynamically on the fly somewhere, so feel free to use either way. I'll just leave it to the hands of ChatGPT, so I'll just say the user should be able to enter some text and get something general and get the word count. Although you can also keep this second sentence out, so if you want ChatGPT just to decide on its own what the interface should look like, then this will be enough. And then all we would have to do is write me a web app using Flask and Python. So Flask is one of the Python web frameworks, so it's like an extension, but it's called a framework, a web framework. So just like we had Streamlit to create those data analysis web apps, we have Flask for more general purpose web apps. So with that, you can press enter. And ChatGPT should give you the code you need. So now, you might be tempted to copy that code and go to Thonny and paste it somewhere, but ChatGPT here will give you two pieces of code blocks. So that's the first one, and that is the second one. This is most likely the case, but you could also get just one, which is fine. So don't worry if you get one code block, but if you get two, we should take care to copy both two in our Thonny. So let's go to Thonny. This is section 4, so I'll create a new directory inside my ChatGPT course directory. So new directory and name it section 4. Press OK. Go inside that section 4 directory. And then here, instead of creating a new file, what you want to do instead is create a new directory and name it web app 1 and press OK. Go inside web app 1. So we'll create multiple web apps through this section, and it's good to keep all those web apps in a separate directory. So the first web app will be inside this directory. I'm creating a separate directory for each web app because for each web app we will have multiple files. So for web applications, one Python file is not enough. You need multiple files. So let's create the first file, new file, inside web app 1 and name it lecture1.py. Press OK. And then you want to create a directory inside web app also. So new directory, call it templates. The name should be exactly as you see it here, with lowercase letters, templates, so plural, with an S at the end, not template, but templates. Press Okay, so we have this directory and we have this lecture.py file. Now we can go to ChatGPT and copy the first code. So this is the Python code. Make sure you are copying the Python code. You know that when it says here Python, and you also know that when you see these import statements at the top here. So you know that that's the Python code. So copy that, go to Thony, paste it in here, save it. When you save it, this should show up, lecture1.py. So make sure that your directory structure looks like this. So .py file is here, and you have the templates folder in the same directory, which is web app 1, right? Now we go inside templates, so double click. You are inside templates. You want to right click here and create a new file. This will be an index.html file. Press OK. And inside index.html, you want to copy the other code, which is one here. So it could say PHP or HTML, but it starts with this doctype HTML. That's how you know that this is HTML code for sure. So doctype HTML, and then it follows with HTML and so on. So copy that, go to Thony. You want to paste it here, save, and we've got this index.html file inside the templates folder. Go back to web app 1, so you can expand that if you like, and you'll see that you have this directory structure. So your directory structure should be the same as mine. So lecture1 index.html inside templates. Then we're ready to run this. So go to lecture1.py, double click it, and go to the run button. You'll get this error, no module named Flask. So that means you need to install Flask. So copy it, go to Tools, Manage Packages, paste Flask there, search, click on the Flask result. This button should show up, so press on that button to install the Flask extension for Python. So Flask was installed on my computer, so I can close that window and start the app. So I just ran the app using this button. This time I don't get an error, so these are not errors, right? This, if you see these, that means the app is running. You can visit the app either by clicking on this link here, or you can copy that link and go to your browser and paste it in your address bar. So there we go. That's the app. Hello, I'm here. Press on count words and we get 4 words. Now this is not very impressive, I admit. So this is lacking CSS. So what is CSS? Let's add some CSS. Well, to understand CSS, first let's make sure you understand these 2 files. So we have a .py file, which is a Python file that contains the Python code. And then we have the .html file. The Python file is what makes the communication between the browser and the server. So these are invisible things to the user, but inside index.html, which looks like this contains HTML code. HTML code is what renders these widgets, that text there, this text box, the button. So HTML is what builds the visible part of a web app, which is also known as the front end, and Python is what builds the back end. And the two communicate with each other to serve a web app to the users, such as this one. Now, we also have CSS. CSS is applied to the HTML elements to make them look better. So this box here could look better if we add some CSS. So let's go back to ChatGPT, and it's important to be in the same chat that we've been working on for this app. And you want to state the problem. The app looks very basic on the front end. Add some bootstrap to make it look more modern. So what is Bootstrap? I mentioned CSS. Well, Bootstrap is a library of CSS. So it's CSS actually, but it makes things easier. So it's a modern CSS library. So you just press enter and wait for a response. So now what ChatGPT will do normally is it will give us the updated index.html code, which is this one in here, right? So what you're supposed to do is you want to wait for this code to finish, and then you want to copy that code and replace it. We'll do that together. So let's wait first. So there we go, the code is ready. So let's copy it and go to Thonny, go to index.html. So double click it. And here you might want to specify Thonny to open it with Thonny among your programs. So there we go, Thonny. Check this text box as well and press on OK. So you want to select that all, delete it and paste the updated code that we just got from ChatGPT, and then you want to press the save button, don't forget that. And then you want to rerun the app using that button. Oh, but be careful here, because you see what I did is I ran the index.html file. So you want to make sure you are inside lecture1.py and then press that button. Then click on that, reload the page. Now the app still looks like there isn't any styling. So in that case, that happens sometimes. So all you need to do is go back to ChatGPT and just tell the problem, the exact problem you have. I tried that code, but no styling was applied. So styling means the HTML page, this page is still basic. Give me a working alternative and press enter to execute it. And so ChatGPT will give us an alternative, which consists of creating a new file named style.css in the static directory. So we need to go back to Thonny. In the web app 1 directory, we want to create a new directory called static with lowercase letters. Go inside static, then create here a new file named style.css. Style.css. Press OK. And you want to copy that code inside style.css. So copy that, paste it here. Right? Go back to ChatGPT, and then you want to update the Python code with this code. So lecture.py, select it all, delete, paste the new code, go back here. And then you also want to update the index.html code. So go to templates, index.html, update it with a new code. And then you want to save all of them. So index.html, save. Lecture1.py, save. Style.css, save. Yeah, that's what we have. And yeah, let's run the code again. So go to lecture1.py, and then you press that button. Visit that, and now we've got a better representation of the web app. Hello there again. So 3 words. There we go, 3 words. It's working. So that's how you can create web apps with Python and ChatGPT. As you can see, it could be more demanding to generate web apps, so you have to be a bit persistent with your follow-up questions. You might not get it right the first time. Let me wrap up what we did. So we just said we want to create a word counter web app using Flask and Python. Then we got the Python code and the HTML code. Then we asked to get some Bootstrap. ChatGPT gave us some non-working code, And then we asked that was not working, give me a working alternative. So the alternative word is the keyword here. And then ChatGPT gave us this. So the structure of a web app is this one in here. So you have one main folder. In that folder we have the Python file. Then you have a static and a templates folder. These should be exactly named as you see here. Inside static you have the styling files. Inside templates you have the HTML files. And that's it. Thanks for following. See you later.